Black screen. Radio static cuts through the silence like a knife through flesh. A woman's voice. Calm, too calm for what comes next. Control, this is Wraith Actual. Mission status compromised beyond recovery. Initiating Protocol Omega. The reply crackles with panic. A male voice, younger, breaking at the edges. Negative Wraith. Do not initiate Omega. Repeat, do not. The woman speaks again, each word measured, final. Tell my sister I kept my promise. Wraith Actual going dark. A gunshot, then nothing but the hiss of dead air. The scene shifts. Television news. A polished anchor reads from a teleprompter with practiced sympathy. Breaking news from the Pentagon. The Department of Defense confirms the death of Captain Elena Reeves, a decorated Army officer killed during a classified operation near the Mexican border. Captain Reeves, age 35, served with distinction for over a decade. Memorial services will be held at Arlington National Cemetery next week. She is survived by her father, retired Colonel Frank Reeves, and her younger sister Sophia Reeves of Phoenix, Arizona. Cut to black. White letters burn onto the screen. 72 hours earlier. The Chihuahuan Desert spreads beneath a merciless sun. Heat ripples off sand the color of old bone. Nothing moves except the wind and the vultures circling high above, patient as death itself. Two armored SUVs and a battered Tacoma bounce along a washboard track that barely deserves the name road. Inside the lead vehicle, Captain Elena Reeves studies a creased map balanced on her knee. Her fingers trace a pencil line that ends at a dry riverbed marked in faded ink. She is small, 5'4" in boots, the kind of woman people underestimate until it costs them. Dark hair pulled tight beneath her helmet, brown eyes that miss nothing. Her uniform bears no unit patch, just a name tape and a call sign stamped on Velcro. Wraith. Beside her in the passenger seat, Sergeant Daniel Cross checks his radio for the third time in 5 minutes. 27 years old. Detroit kid who joined the Army to escape the streets and found a family instead. His hands move with nervous energy, adjusting frequencies, testing connections. In the back seat, Lieutenant Jake Morrison rides in silence. 33, team leader, the kind of officer who leads from the front and bleeds with his people. His jaw works a piece of gum like it owes him money. The fourth member of their team, Specialist Amy Chen, drives the second SUV 50 meters back. 29, medic, steady hands and a mind that stays cold when the world catches fire. 2 minutes to chill point, the driver murmurs. Elena nods but does not look up from the map. Something bothers her about this mission, something she cannot name. The briefing came down through Colonel Briggs himself, delivered via encrypted SATCOM at 0300 hours. Extract a high-value target, Mexican cartel accountant, financial records, standard snatch and grab. Except nothing about Marcus Briggs is standard. The man is 60 years old, a career officer who climbed the ladder by knowing which backs to stab and which hands to shake. He commands from a desk at JSOC headquarters, coordinating special operations across 3 continents. He does not personally brief extraction missions, not unless something matters more than the mission itself. Elena noticed, said nothing, filed it away in the part of her mind that catalogs inconsistencies and waits for patterns to emerge. The convoy slows. Ahead, smoke bleeds across the track, black and oily, tires burning in a staggered line. Behind them, a rust-eaten sedan angles across the path, doors hanging open like broken wings. Roadblock, the driver says. Cross keys his radio. Lead vehicle, we have visual on obstacle. Advise. Morrison leans forward, scanning the terrain through the dusty windshield. His hand drifts toward his rifle. We go through, he says, fast and smooth. Elena's fingers stop moving on the map. Her eyes lift to the road ahead, to the tires burning with too much precision, to the sedan placed with too much care, to the dirt that looks too smooth, too freshly tamped, like someone swept it clean and then forgot to make it messy again. Pause, she says quietly. Check the culvert 10 meters short. That dirt is too fresh. The driver hits the brakes. Dust surges past like surf. Through the windshield, Elena watches that strip of road. The way it sits different from the earth around it. The way the shadows fall wrong. Back it up, she says. They reverse 3 meters. The world punches them. The pressure wave lifts the second SUV like a giant hand swatted it. The windshield explodes into 10,000 fragments of safety glass. The Tacoma fishtails, smashing its tailgate into a mesquite trunk with a sound like bones breaking. Elena's head snaps against the headrest. Stars bloom behind her eyes. The radio on her chest coughs static and then a voice screaming. Contact, contact front, brake, brake. Gunfire opens from 2 directions at once. A long stitched growl from the right, heavier than AK, belt-fed, PKM or RPK, the kind of weapon that turns cover into kindling and flesh into mist. From the left, lighter caliber, disciplined bursts, 3 round-controlled pairs. This is not a cartel ambush. This is a military kill zone. The roadblock was theater. The real trap sits L-shaped. High ground to the left behind a dirt berm, low ground to the right in the arroyo, crossing fire, overlapping fields, the kind of setup that comes from training, not luck. Smoke out, Morrison barks. White grenades tumble from windows. Clouds burst and hang useless in the heat. No wind to carry them, just white fog that marks targets instead of hiding them. Elena shoulders her door open and drops to the sand. Heat slaps her face, grit on her teeth. She rolls left behind the wheel well as rounds punch the door where her head was a heartbeat before. Comms check, she says into her mic. Whose status? Hit, Cross's voice rasps through the channel. Left forearm. I can still work. Stay with me, Elena says. Push our traffic to backup net. Encryption might be compromised. More gunfire. Closer now. Bullets tick through dry grass near her boot. Someone in the wash sees her headset and stitches a line to cut the brain from the body. She crawls behind a wheel rut, rolls to one knee, looks once, quick, not greedy. 10 shooters, maybe 12. 2 vehicles behind them that were not there a minute ago, a Hilux and a Silverado, gun racks mounted in the beds, professional, coordinated, wrong. Left berm 2 with belts, she calls. Right wash 3 rifles, 1 spotter. Morrison tries to move the lead SUV. The engine grinds, radiator hissing like a dying snake. A second blast chews the road where their rear tires sat seconds before. Smaller charge, denial, not kill, a message. They are pinned. Voices jabber in rapid Spanish from the berm. Then something new. A clipped English voice on their frequency that does not belong. U.S. soldiers, drop your weapons and step out. We only want to talk. Elena feels cold despite the heat. They are not jamming the signal. They stole a handset. They are inside the net, listening, speaking, turning their own communications into a weapon. She flips to backup channel and keys twice. The pre-briefed signal that says comms integrity compromised. Nothing returns but static and breathing. Raven, Morrison says, closer now. His sleeve dark with someone else's blood. We need out. Elena scans. Left flank too high, right wash too deep. Rear blocked by the Tacoma cranked sideways. Their only exit runs through the arroyo, through the guns waiting there. On me, she says. They move, 3 operators in a tight crouch. Rounds hum low, angry hornets. Elena counts rhythm, 3-second bursts, 4-second pause, belt change at 16. She pops smoke into the wash and drops after it. Landing hard, palms scraping sand. For a heartbeat the world mutes. Smoke, grit, a single drop of blood bright on the back of her hand. Then a shape rushes through the smoke. A man with a bandana and a short rifle. He sees the small soldier, not the operator. He leans in to grab. Her elbow flashes. A compact practice strike that jams his rifle across his own chest. Her boot finds his knee, sends him folding. She does not finish him. Time means life. Cross crawl, she says. Stay in the ribbon. They slide 30 meters along the wash, almost to a dip when the Silverado drops in above them, braces its wheels at the lip, chewing dirt, muzzles wink. Back, Elena shouts. A rope snakes down from the truck bed. Not rescue, a drag. Hands yank it tight. The rope cinches Cross's boot and rips him forward into the open like a fish on a line. No, Elena lunges. Fingers graze his pant leg. Rounds crack around them. She lets him go. It is the hardest decision of her life. Gunfire ebbs, replaced by shouts. Dark shapes fan around the wash. 3 rifles press down on Elena, 2 more on Morrison. Cross lies face down, dust kicking to blood on his forearm. He twitches, tries to roll. A boot pins him. Drop, someone says. Drop your gear now. Elena sets her rifle down slowly. She can feel the heat of the metal through her glove. Her fingers want to clench, to fight now and die now. She does not let them. They zip-tie her wrists, yank off her headset, kick her to her knees. The men's faces are sunburnt and young. Their laughter is older. A man with mirrored sunglasses crouches to peer into her eyes. Gringita, he says lightly, you speak. She does not answer. He plucks her name tape free, flicks it into the sand. Another tears her rank insignia. A third finds her dog tags, tugs. When they will not break, he cuts the chain and tosses the tags into the brush like trash. Delta, a fourth, says, tasting the word like a movie, you do karate, yes, you jump from helicopters. Laughter pops like oil in a pan. A boot nudges her shoulder. Where is your bravery now? Another points at her build and smirks. So small, not scary, we thought soldiers were big. Elena looks at him and says nothing. She does not drop her gaze, does not rise to the bait. Her pulse slows, not spikes. They took her plate carrier, her sidearm, radio, GPS. They stripped her of the things that make modern war feel safe. The humiliation comes in layers, not just theft but performance. One of them holds up her tuck knife and wags it like she gave him a prize. Another pretends to read her folded map upside down. The crowd howls. They push Cross under the truck's shadow, tie a strip of cloth around his arm, tight and clumsy. He groans, eyes fluttering. Raven, he whispers hoarsely, I'm sorry. She shakes her head once. Stay awake, she says softly. You hear me? Stay awake. The lieutenant arrives last. Clean boots, cool smile, a pistol that has never jammed because someone else cleans it. American soldiers, he says in practiced English. Welcome to Sonora. He studies Elena, tilts his head. No, he corrects himself, American special. What is the word, elite? He rolls the syllable like a grape on his tongue. Delta. He squats, looks her over like a mechanic appraising a part. You look ordinary, he says, almost disappointed. I thought the best were tall, big muscles like on Netflix. The men chuckle. He glances toward the road where the lead SUV still smokes. Your radio, he says, it speaks Spanish now. We borrowed the voice. He smiles. You will tell us what we want. Then maybe we let you sleep in the shade. He snaps his fingers. Two men drag Elena by the elbows to the bed of the hillocks, dump her like a sack. A third climbs in, plants a boot on her shoulder to keep her still. She lifts her head, finds Cross's eyes beneath the truck. He is pale. She holds his gaze. Breathe, she mouths, in, out. The lieutenant signals. Engines cough alive. The little convoy turns east toward the hazy cut of low mountains where their compound squats. The drive burns. Heat smashes through the wind. Grit rasps in her teeth. They jeer to fill the miles. "Hey, Delta," one says, "you fly drones from your bedroom." Another waggles her dog tags, then tosses them into the desert like confetti. A third leans close, taps her forehead, hollow, nothing inside. None of it lands. She has heard worse in quieter rooms from men who wore uniforms and never bled. She counts time instead. Truck speed 40, sometimes 50. Hard turn left after 23 minutes. A creek bed crossed at 27. Tires smashing dry stone. A lone saguaro with a broken arm at 39. She draws the map in her mind and stores it with the rest. At the compound, brick walls rise from dust. A corrugated gate screams on tired hinges. A dozen men flick cigarette butts and stare. Dogs bark and then, reading something in the air, go silent. They drag the captives into a courtyard where a tarp has been strung for shade. They separate Elena, let Cross slump against a wall, set a plastic chair beside him as if mercy could be furniture. An older man with a scar through his eyebrow steps forward with a notepad. "Names," he says, "units, frequencies, how many more coming?" He speaks Spanish and waits like he expects her to answer in it. Elena inhales once. Her wrists hurt under the ties. She lets the pain be. "No," she says simply, in English. The first slap takes her by surprise only because it is lazy. He does not hit like a soldier. He hits like a man who thinks violence itself does the work. She tastes copper and counts. "Try again," he says. She does not. They remove her blouse, check for tattoos that might tell a story. They find the small marks behind her left ear, faded Cyrillic letters. "Per Izair, ghost." The older man snorts. "Ah," he says, "a little ghost." One of the younger ones mimes wings, cackles until someone more serious glares him quiet. They film it, the questions, the silence, for their own theater. Elena watches the lens. She does not let hate sharpen her eyes. She lets emptiness float there. When they tire of silence, they change targets. They crouch near Cross, ask him for anything, everything, in a tone that offers relief as if kindness could be currency. He tries to say nothing. Pain unravels the edges of his refusal. "Hey," Elena says, voice low and steady, cutting across their questions like a metronome. "Breathe, Cross, that's in order." He latches onto the words like a drowning man to a rope. The lieutenant drifts back in. Bored of other things, he tips his head. "You look like you know how long a man lasts out here," he says, stepping toward Elena, in the sun, with no water. He smiles. "We will find out." He gives a small gesture with his hand. Two men haul Elena to her feet. She stumbles, knees soft from hours on the ground. Then she makes her legs a frame again. They walk her past a table where someone cleaned a rifle and left the bolt wrong, past a wall where a map hangs upside down with thumbtacks scattered like flies, past a corner where a radio sits tuned to a frequency she knows by heart. She does not deviate, does not grab, she learns. Outside the gate, the sun feels like punishment. The lieutenant points at the horizon, miles of nothing that shimmers with heat. 80 kilometers, he says pleasantly. Civilization, if you can call it that. He nods at a guard. "Give her a head start," he says almost kindly. Then we see how far she crawls. They toss her into the bed of a pickup, drive until the compound shrinks to a smudge. They stop where the land opens like a mouth. He tosses 3 water bottles into the sand. 2 land within reach. One rolls into a patch of cholla cactus, lodged between spines like a cruel joke. He looks down at her. "You Delta Force," he says, teeth bright in the glare. "Let's see how tough you are without water." Then he does something she does not expect. He pulls a field knife from his belt. Old, military issue. The blade snapped off halfway, useless as a weapon. He tosses it into the sand near her boots. "A gift," he says, his smile wider so you can pretend you have a chance. The men laugh, hollow in the bright. They cut the ties at her ankles, leave the wrists. They drive away in a spray of grit. Silence slams down. The desert does what it always does. It ignores her. Elena rolls to her side, spits dust, listens to the engines fade. 5 seconds, 10, 15. Then she draws her knees under her and sits up. Her mind moves quiet and precise. Sun at high angle slightly west. Estimate mid-afternoon. Peak heat still ahead. She catalogues the terrain. Low creosote scattered. Ocotillo. A dry draw slanting south like a line in the palm of a hand. She checks her wrists. The zip tie bites deep. Her pulse beats against plastic. She does not fight it, not yet. She closes her eyes and breathes once. Slow, the way she taught Cross. She opens them and looks east toward the mountains, toward the compound that holds her team. What would you do? Run blind and die proud. Fold and beg and die slow. Elena does what Delta Selection teaches in its first unspoken lesson. She chooses the third thing. She slides on her side until the backs of her shoulders rest against the hottest part of the sand. Heat bites, then steadies. She inches her wrists along the grit, sawing plastic against quartz until she feels a scratch catch. The tie drags a fraction. Not panic process. A vulture wheels high, black against hard blue. The horizon wavers. She licks her lips, tastes dust. She studies the broken knife, picks it up. The handle feels wrong in her bound hands. She turns it over, studies the way the metal broke, the jagged edge where the blade snapped. Then she sees it, a hairline seam in the handle. She pries with her thumbnail. The grip separates. Inside, taped to the tang, a micro SD card no bigger than her pinky nail. Her breath catches. She frees the card, holds it up to the light. On the plastic casing, scratched with something sharp, 2 words. LAZARUS hold. The word Morrison whispered before he died. The word that made no sense until this moment. Elena stares at the card, at the message, at the knife that was never meant to cut anything but her certainty. Someone planned this. Someone wanted her here, wanted her to find this. But who and why? She tucks the card into the hem of her pants, hidden, safe. Then she returns to the work of freeing her wrists. The plastic cuts her skin. Blood makes her hands slick. She does not stop. An hour passes. The sun crawls west. Her wrists come free with a dry pop that sounds like a bone breaking. She flexes her fingers, tests joints. No permanent damage, just swelling. She scavenges the ground, finds the water bottles, drinks one halfway, discipline over thirst. The second bottle she saves. The third, still lodged in cactus, she retrieves carefully. Spines pierce her sleeve. She ignores the sting. She studies the tire tracks. They head east, not back to the compound, east toward something else. She follows them. The sun hammers down, 116 degrees and climbing. The air shimmers like glass. Every breath hurts. But Elena has been hurt before. Pain is information. It tells you where your edges are, how far you can push before the system fails. She walks 2 kilometers, the tracks lead to ruins, an abandoned ranch house, roof caved in, walls crumbling, the kind of place the desert reclaims one monsoon at a time. She approaches carefully, watching for movement, listening for breath, nothing but wind through broken windows. Inside, the floor is dirt and debris, rusted cans, a torn tarp, old furniture crushed by fallen beams, and in the corner, half buried under sand, radio equipment, trashed, broken, but some parts still intact. Elena kneels, examines the gear, a receiver, salvageable maybe. Then she sees the wall, the words carved into rotting wood with something sharp, letters 2 inches tall. LAZRUS 72HR hold. Her heart kicks once, hard. Morrison said find Lazarus. The knife said Lazarus hold. Now this. 72 hours, 3 days, hold for 3 days. She looks at the radio equipment, at the words on the wall, at the careful way this place was chosen, close enough to the drop point to find, hidden enough to avoid patrols. Someone built a dead drop, a cache, a failsafe. But for what? She hears it before she sees it, the low thrum of rotors, distant, coming closer. Elena moves fast, into the basement, down stone steps half collapsed, into darkness that smells of earth and time. She presses her back against the wall, listens. The helicopter passes overhead, low, deliberate, searching. Through cracks in the floorboards above, she hears voices, radio chatter bleeding through the heli's open doors. Lazarus 6 scanning grid, no visual on target. Expand search, she should be in this sector. Copy, what if cartel got her first? A pause, then a voice she recognizes. Colonel Marcus Briggs, flat, cold, the tone of a man who has already decided. Then Briggs buries this, and we all go home. Elena's breath stops. Briggs, her commander, the man who sent them on this mission, talking about burying this, about her. The pieces click into place, like rounds, loading into a magazine. Morrison warned her, do not trust Briggs. The ambush was too clean, too coordinated. Briggs personally briefed the mission. The cartel knew their call signs, their routes. And now a team called Lazarus is searching for her, not to rescue, to confirm. To bury. Elena slides down the wall, sits in the dark. Her hands shake, not from fear, from rage held behind a dam that threatens to break. Morrison knew. He tried to warn her. He died trying. Chen died for a lie. Cross is still in that compound, still breathing, still trusting that someone is coming. And Briggs wants her dead. The helicopter moves away. The sound fades to nothing. Silence returns like water filling a hole. Elena stands, climbs the stairs, emerges into the fading light of late afternoon. She looks east, toward the compound, toward Cross. Then she looks at the radio equipment, at the words on the wall. Hold for 72 hours. She does not know who carved those words, does not know what happens when 72 hours expire, but she knows one thing with perfect clarity. Briggs sent her to die. The cartel failed. Lazarus is the backup plan, and if she runs, if she hides, if she tries to escape, Cross dies. The truth dies. Briggs wins. So she will not run. She will hold. Elena begins to work. She sorts through the radio parts, identifies what she needs, a receiver, a power source, enough wire to rig an antenna. She has no tools, no soldering iron, no schematics, just hands that know how circuits flow and a mind that refuses to stop. 2 hours later, as the sun bleeds red across the desert, she has something. Not elegant, not military spec, but functional. She tunes the receiver, cycles through frequencies, static, white noise, then a voice. Lazarus team status. No contact, assuming target KIA by hostile forces. Negative assumption. Wraith is never KIA until I see a body. Maintain search pattern. Briggs again, his voice like iron scraping stone. Elena's jaw sets. She keys the receiver to scan mode, listening, learning, building the picture of what hunts her. Night falls. The desert cools. Stars burn overhead like holes punched through black fabric. Elena sits in the ruins, drinks water, rations movement, thinks. She has no weapons, no support, no way to contact friendly forces without revealing her position to Lazarus. But she has something Briggs does not expect. She has time, 72 hours. And she has a choice. She can use that time to run, to hide, to survive. Or she can use it to fight. Not with bullets, not with blades, but with something Briggs cannot predict and Lazarus cannot counter. Fear. Elena stands, looks toward the compound, 20 kilometers, maybe 30, cartel territory, hostile ground. She starts walking. Not away, toward. Because Delta selection taught her something most operators never learn. The enemy expects you to run when you are hunted. They post guards on the exits, watch the horizons, scan the roads. They never watch the door they think is locked. Elena moves through the night like smoke through a screen, low, patient, invisible. By midnight she can see the compound lights, faint, distant, a small constellation of generator glow against the dark. She settles into a depression in the earth, a dried wash where water once ran. She watches, listens, learns the rhythm of the place. Guard change every 4 hours, sloppy rotation. Men who smoke on post, dogs chained not patrolling, one generator loud enough to mask sound. She sees Cross through a gap in the courtyard wall, sitting against a post, head down but moving, alive. Relief floods through her, then hardens into something colder. She will get him out, but not tonight, not with Lazarus overhead and Briggs listening. Tonight she plants the seed. Elena circles the compound, finds the drainage culvert, the one they never check because it is too small, too obvious, too beneath their attention. She slides through, mud and filth, lungs burning from held breath, emerges inside the wire. She moves to the generator shed, does not cut the fuel line, too obvious. Instead, she loosens the connection, just enough. In 6 hours, when the fuel pressure drops, the generator will cough, sputter, die without warning. Then she takes a piece of charcoal from the fire pit, finds the shed wall, writes one word. Wraith. Simple, clear, a signature in the dark. She leaves the way she came, through the culvert into the night. By dawn she is 2 kilometers away, watching through salvaged binoculars as the compound wakes. The generator dies at 0600, right on schedule. The compound erupts, shouts, confusion, men scrambling to fix what should not be broken. Then someone sees the wall, the word burned black into rotting wood. Wraith. Panic spreads like fire in dry grass. Men point, argue, look over their shoulders at shadows that are not there. Elena watches through the glass, allows herself the smallest smile. The game has begun. Somewhere in the ruins behind her, the radio crackles to life. Lazarus 6 to control, possible contact. Cartel reports unusual activity at compound, signs of infiltration. Briggs responds, voice tight. Explain. Unknown cartel is spooked, talking about ghosts. A pause, then Briggs again, harder now. Find her, confirm the kill. I want proof. The radio goes silent. Elena turns it off, saves the battery. She has heard enough. Briggs wants proof. He will not get it, not today, not for 72 hours. And in that time, Elena will do what she does best. She will become the ghost they fear. The sun climbs, heat returns. The desert wakes to another day of stone and thirst and death. But Elena Reeves is still breathing. And that means Briggs has already lost. He just does not know it yet. Dawn breaks over the Chihuahuan Desert like a wound opening. The sun climbs red and angry, painting the sand in shades of rust and old blood. Heat builds with the light, patient and inevitable as time itself. Elena Reeves sits in the ruins of the ranch house, back against crumbling adobe, radio receiver balanced on her knee. The salvaged equipment crackles with voices. Men hunting her. Men who think she is dying somewhere out in the waste, throat dust dry, eyes watching the sky for vultures. They are wrong. She has water, 3 bottles carefully rationed. She has shelter, what remains of it, and she has something more valuable than either. She has information. The radio tells her everything. Lazarus teams sweeping grid patterns to the south. Cartel patrols doubling shifts at the compound. Vega demanding answers from men who have none to give. And beneath it all, the cold voice of Colonel Marcus Briggs, checking in every 6 hours like a man watching a clock count down to something he wants very badly. Confirmation of target status, he says each time, his words clipped, precise. No visual, Lazarus 6 replies, expanding search radius. Briggs does not like waiting. Elena can hear it in the silence that follows each report, the way he breathes before speaking, the tension in a voice that usually sounds like iron dragged across stone. He wants her dead, needs her dead, and every hour she survives is an hour his certainty erodes. Good. Elena stands, stretches muscles tight from a night spent on hard ground. She drinks water, half a bottle, discipline over thirst. Then she moves to the window, what is left of it, and watches the desert wake. 2 kilometers east, the compound sits low against the horizon. Smoke rises from the generator shed. They fixed it, restored power, routine settling back like sediment after a storm. But routine is an illusion now. She broke it, and broken things never quite fit together the same way twice. She can see guards on the walls, more than yesterday, nervous energy in the way they move, looking over shoulders, checking shadows, men who laugh at ghosts in daylight but lie awake in the dark, listening. Elena checks her watch, the one her father gave her when she graduated basic training, analog, no GPS, no electronics to track, just gears and springs and the steady tick of seconds passing. 60 hours remain. She needs to move. Staying in one place too long invites discovery, but more than that, she needs to maintain pressure, keep them off balance. Fear is a tool like any other. It dulls sharp minds and makes careful men careless. She gathers what she can carry: water, the radio, a length of wire. The micro SD card stays hidden in the hem of her pants, close to her skin, where even if they search her again, they might miss it in the thoroughness of their contempt. Before she leaves, she carves one more message into the wall. Below the first, LAZARUS 72 HR hold. She adds 3 words. 60 HOURS left. Let them find it. Let them wonder how she knows. Let them imagine her close enough to count down with them. Elena slips out through the back, moves low through creosote and brittlebush. The sun climbs higher. Heat builds like pressure in a sealed drum. By noon it will be unbearable. By 3 it will kill anything that moves without shade. She does not plan to move at 3. She plans to move at 2, right into the teeth of it, because no one expects an attack in the worst heat of the day. No one watches as carefully when sweat runs into their eyes and exhaustion sits on their shoulders like lead. The compound perimeter is different in daylight, harder to approach, open ground for 100 meters in every direction, fields of fire that overlap. Crossing it would be suicide. So she does not cross it. Instead, she follows the dry wash that feeds into the drainage culvert, the same route she used last night, patience over speed, silence over courage. It takes her an hour to cover 200 meters, crawling, freezing when wind shifts or voices carry, breathing shallow, heart rate controlled. At the culvert entrance she stops, listens. Water drips somewhere deep in the concrete throat, a slow rhythmic plop that echoes like a clock. No voices, no footsteps. They still have not thought to guard this entrance because it is too small, too filthy, too beneath the dignity of men with guns. Good. Elena slides into the dark. The smell hits first. Sewage and rot and the ancient stink of stagnant water. She moves by touch, hands on slick concrete, knees in muck that soaks through her pants. The culvert angles down then levels. 50 meters, 70, complete darkness now. She emerges in a maintenance pit inside the compound wall, blinking against sudden light that filters through a rusted grate overhead. She waits, counts heartbeats, listens to the compound above. Voices Spanish, 2 men arguing about a card game. Laughter, the clink of bottles, routine. She eases the grate up. 1 inch, 2, peers through the gap. The maintenance pit sits between the vehicle bay and the generator shed. 10 meters of open ground on one side, 15 to the other. A guard leans against the bay wall, smoking, rifle slung. He is looking the wrong direction, watching the front gate, expecting threat from outside. Elena times her movement to the rhythm of his smoking. Drag, exhale, flick ash. She lifts herself out during the exhale when his attention is softest, replaces the grate without sound, slides behind a stack of fuel drums before he turns back. She is inside. The compound in daylight is different from the image's night vision painted. Smaller, more cramped. Buildings that looked solid in darkness show their decay in sun. Cracked mortar, rusted tin. The bones of a place that pretends to be strong but knows it is rotting from within. She counts men, 18 visible, maybe 20 total, fewer than last night. Vega must have sent patrols out, searching for her body or hunting for threats. Good, fewer men means fewer eyes. Elena moves along the back wall, stays low behind vehicles. Old trucks and a shot-out Humvee that looks like it was stolen from a Mexican army depot years ago. She reaches the corner, peers around. The courtyard cross is still there, still tied to the post, but he is sitting upright now, alert. A bowl of water beside him. They are keeping him alive. Insurance. Leverage, proof of control. His eyes scan the compound, back and forth, looking for something, looking for her. She cannot signal, cannot risk drawing attention, but she needs him to know, needs him to hold on. A guard walks past Cross, says something in Spanish, laughs, kicks the water bowl, it tips, spills into the dirt. Cross does not react, does not give them the satisfaction, just watches the water soak into dust and disappear. Elena's jaw tightens. Her hand moves to her belt by instinct, reaching for a sidearm that is not there, has not been there since they took it. The urge to act now, to move now, to end this now, is a physical thing, a pressure in her chest that wants release. She does not give it. Not yet. She has a different target today. Elena circles the courtyard, keeps to shadows, reaches the main building, the one with windows that actually have glass, the one where Vega sleeps and plans and pretends to command. The door is unlocked. Arrogance or stupidity, the result is the same. She slips inside. The hallway smells of cigarettes and gun oil. Voices echo from deeper in the building. A radio playing music. Norteño. Accordion and bajo sexto bleeding through static. She finds Vega's office by the nameplate on the door. Hand-carved wood. Lieutenant Carlos Vega. Former rank from a former life. She tests the handle. Locked, of course. Elena kneels. Examines the lock. Old. Simple. The kind a credit card could slip if you knew the angle. She does not have a credit card, but she has a thin strip of metal torn from a can. Salvaged last night. Kept because in her world everything is a tool if you look at it right. She works the metal into the gap, feels for the catch, patience, pressure, a click so soft it might be imagination. The door opens. Vega's office is exactly what she expected. Neat, organized, the discipline of a soldier trying to maintain order in a world that has none. Desk with papers squared, laptop closed, sat phone in a charging cradle, files stacked by category. And on the wall a photo, Vega in uniform, Mexican Special Forces, younger, smiling, surrounded by men who look like brothers, the caption below in Spanish. GAFE 2012, Puebla. She studies the photo, tries to see the man who captured her in the man who once served with honor, tries to understand the path from there to here, from defending his country to working for men who poison it. She does not have time for philosophy. Elena moves to the desk, opens the laptop. Password protected, she expected that, tries the obvious. Vega, GAFE, Puebla, all rejected. She looks at the photo again, counts the men, sees a face that stands out, taller than the others, scar on his cheek, name tape visible, 0. She types it, 0. The laptop unlocks. Of course, a dead friend. The kind of password a sentimental man chooses when he wants to remember and punish himself at the same time. The desktop loads, files, emails, spreadsheets. She does not have time to read everything, but she does not need to read everything. She needs one thing. She opens the email client, scrolls through sent messages, finds what she is looking for 3 days ago, an exchange with an American account. Military domain, mil suffix. The sender, Colonel Briggs. The message is brief, clinical, the language of transactions between men who do not trust each other but need each other anyway. Payment confirmed. Targets will be delivered to coordinates as discussed. Ensure no survivors. Sanitize site. No evidence of U.S. involvement. Vega's reply is shorter. Understood, it will be done. There it is, the proof, the confirmation. Briggs hired Vega to kill her, paid him, planned it. Morrison was right, do not trust Briggs. Elena pulls out the sat phone, takes photos of the screen with the phone's camera, the emails, the payment confirmations, wire transfers to a numbered account, everything. Then she opens the file directory, finds a folder labeled Operation Lazarus. Inside, mission briefs, personnel files, maps, and a video file. She clicks it. The video is grainy, night vision footage, a compound different from this one, smaller, more remote, eastern Mexico, Sonora maybe, or Chihuahua. The timestamp says 2 months ago. The footage shows prisoners, 5 of them, Americans, civilian clothes but military bearing, hands zip-tied, kneeling in a courtyard. A voice off camera, Briggs, she recognizes it now. knows the flat affect, the absence of anything human. These men no longer exist, he says. They were never here, understood. A figure moves into frame. Vega, younger in the video, or maybe just less worn. Understood, he says. What happens next takes 11 seconds. Elena forces herself to watch all of it. The executions, the efficiency, the way Vega does not hesitate because hesitation is not something men like him can afford. When it ends, the screen goes black. Elena closes the laptop. Her hands are shaking, not from fear, from the weight of what she just saw. 5 men, dead, erased. Briggs ordering it, Vega executing it. And now she is supposed to be next. Another ghost, another name that never existed. She hears footsteps in the hallway. Elena moves fast, grabs the sat phone, slips it into her pocket, closes the laptop, everything back where it was. She crosses to the window, opens it, slides through, drops to the ground outside. Lands in a crouch, freezes. A guard 20 meters away, facing the other direction, talking into a radio. She does not breathe, does not move, waits for him to turn to see, to shout. He does not turn, just clicks off the radio, walks away. Elena exhales, moves along the wall, reaches the corner, looks back at the office window. Open, obvious. They will know someone was inside. Good. Let them know. Let Vega wonder what she took, what she learned. Let paranoia do the work fear started. She makes her way back to the maintenance pit, down into the culvert, through the dark and the filth and the echo of dripping water, out into the wash, into the open desert. By the time the alarm sounds behind her, she is already gone. The radio comes alive an hour later. She is 2 kilometers out, hidden in a cluster of boulders that offer shade and cover, listening. Vega's voice, tight, controlled, but underneath she can hear it, the crack in the foundation. Someone breached the compound, my office. They accessed my files. Lazarus 6 responds. Briggs must be listening. Description. Vega hesitates. No visual, but items were moved. Laptop was accessed. Sat phone is missing. Silence on the channel, long enough that Elena wonders if the connection dropped. Then Briggs speaks. His voice different now. Harder, colder. What files were accessed? I don't know yet, but if it was her. It was her, Briggs says. No question in it, just certainty. She is alive, she is close, and she is not running. Another pause, then Briggs again. Lazarus, converge on compound coordinates. Secure the area. I want her found. I want her ended. No more games. Copy, Lazarus 6 says. ETA 30 minutes. Elena turns off the radio, saves the battery. She has heard enough. 30 minutes. They are coming, all of them. Lazarus team, Vega's men, a net closing. She could run now, take what she learned and disappear into the desert, survive the next 58 hours and hope someone believes her when it is over. But Cross is still in that compound, still tied to that post, and if she runs, he dies. They will kill him to hurt her, to punish her, to make a point. She cannot allow that. Will not allow that. Elena stands, looks at the sat phone, at the photos stored in its memory, proof of Briggs's betrayal, evidence that could end him. But only if she lives to deliver it. She needs leverage, needs something that makes her more valuable alive than dead, needs to shift the equation. An idea forms, risky, insane, exactly the kind of move they will not expect because no sane operator would try it. She opens the sat phone, navigates to the camera roll, finds the clearest photo of Briggs's email, the one that says ensure no survivors. Then she opens the phone's messaging app, types in a number, Not Briggs, not Lazarus, but a number she memorized years ago, a civilian line, monitored by people who monitor everything. She types a message, short, clear. Call Briggs J. Soch ordering execution of U.S. personnel. Proof attached. Captain E. Reeves Delta, compromised in Mexico, need immediate extract. She attaches the photo, hits send. The message fails. No signal, too remote. The desert swallow's radio waves the same way it swallows everything else. She tries again, moves to higher ground, climbs a boulder, holds the phone above her head, one bar flickering, weak. The message sends. She does not know if anyone will see it, does not know if it will matter, but it is a seed planted, a failsafe. If she dies out here, at least the truth will not die with her. Elena climbs down, hides the phone under a rock, marks the location with 3 stones arranged in a triangle. If she does not survive, maybe someone will find it. Maybe. Then she turns toward the compound, toward the sound of helicopters growing louder in the distance. Toward the fight. The helicopters come in low and fast, 4 of them, black hawks, no markings, the kind of birds that do not exist on any manifest. They orbit the compound once, tight circle, rotors beating the air into submission. Elena watches from a kilometer out, through salvaged binoculars, lenses cracked but functional. She sees the birds land, sees operators fast rope down, 16 men, full kit, moving with the precision of men who have done this 1,000 times. Lazarus team. They sweep the compound, room by room, methodical, professional. Vega's men stand aside. Let them work, smart. You do not interfere with men like that unless you want to stop breathing. She sees them find Cross. One operator kneels beside him, checks his injuries, radios something. Cross is pulled to his feet, hands still bound. They are taking him, moving him to the helicopter. Elena's chest tightens. She has seconds to decide, minutes maybe. If they extract Cross, he disappears. Into the machinery of whatever black site Briggs has prepared. She will never find him, never prove he existed. Another ghost. She cannot allow that either. Elena moves, not toward the compound, toward the wash that feeds the drainage culvert, the route they will use to extract, the path of least resistance. She runs, full sprint, heat slamming into her like a wall, lungs burning, vision narrowing at the edges. The wash is 300 meters, might as well be 3,000. She makes it with 30 seconds to spare, drops into the wash, presses her back against the clay wall, gasping, heart hammering so hard it might crack ribs. The sound of rotors changes, pitch shifting, preparing for liftoff. She hears voices, English, American, operators moving through the wash toward the landing zone. 2 of them appear around the bend, rifles up, scanning, professional. Between them, hands bound, stumbling over rocks, Cross. Elena does not think. Thinking is the enemy of action. She stands, steps into the open, hands raised, empty. The operators freeze, weapons snap to her, red dots paint her chest, 2 perfect circles over her heart. Nobody moves. Elena looks past the guns, past the men, at Cross, his eyes widen, recognition, disbelief. Raven, he whispers. One of the operators keys his radio. Lazarus 2, we have contact, female, unarmed, matches target description. The response is immediate. Briggs, his voice crackling through the speaker. Secure her, both of them, bring them to me. The operator lowers his rifle slightly, steps forward, zip ties ready. Elena does not move, does not resist. Let them think she is surrendering, let them think this is over. The operator reaches for her wrist. She drives her knee into his groin. He folds, she pivots, grabs his rifle, does not fire, swings it like a club, catches the second operator across the jaw. He staggers. Cross reacts, hands bound but feet free. He kicks the second operator's knee. The man goes down. Elena grabs Cross. "Run," she says. They run. Behind them shouts, the first operator keying his radio. "Contact is hostile. Repeat, hostile, engaging." Gunfire, rounds crack past. Snap overhead, kick up dust. Elena and Cross sprint up the wash. Legs pumping, terror and adrenaline burning away exhaustion. 50 meters, 100, the wash bends. They take the corner, out of line of sight. Elena yanks Cross left. Into a side channel, narrow, choked with brush. They crawl, thorns tearing clothes, drawing blood. Silence now, absolute, breathing through noses, slow. Footsteps pound past. Voices, American, efficient. They are sweeping the wash, grid pattern. They will find them. It is only a matter of time. Elena looks at Cross, at his bound wrists. She pulls out the strip of metal from her pocket, saws at the zip tie. It parts. His hands come free. He flexes his fingers, looks at her, whispers, "What is the plan?" She whispers back, "Survive the next 10 minutes, then we make a new plan." A voice very close, "This channel clear." Another voice, moving to the next. Boot falls right above them. A shadow falls across the brush. An operator, rifle barrel poking through, inches from Elena's face. She does not breathe, does not blink, becomes stone. The rifle withdraws. The shadow moves on. Clear. They wait 5 minutes, 10. The voices grow distant. The operators are sweeping south, away from them. They think Elena ran deeper into the desert, think she is trying to escape. They are wrong. Elena taps Cross, signals. They crawl back the way they came, toward the compound, toward the one place Lazarus will not expect her to go. Full circle. They emerge from the wash 100 meters from the compound perimeter. The helicopters are still there, rotors turning, pilots waiting, 2 operators on guard, the rest are out searching. Elena studies the layout. The guards are watching the desert, expecting threat from out there, not from here. She looks at Cross, "You trust me?" He nods without hesitation. "Good, because this is going to be stupid." She explains the plan in 10 words. He stares at her, blinks. "That is suicide," he says. Probably, she agrees. "You have a better idea." He thinks, shakes his head. "Then we do stupid." They move, low and fast, using the vehicles as cover. An old truck, a shot-out Humvee, close enough now to hear the guards talking. One of them is complaining about the heat. The other is checking his watch. Elena picks up a rock, throws it long. It clatters off the far side of the compound wall. Both guards turn, rifles up, moving to investigate. Elena and Cross sprint, 20 meters of open ground, the longest 20 meters of their lives. They reach the nearest helicopter, slide beneath it, press flat against the landing skid. Above them the rotors thump, downdraft pressing them into the dirt. The guards come back, saw nothing, must have been an animal. They resume their positions, waiting. Elena waits too, counts seconds, builds the timing in her head. Then the radio crackles. "All units return to LZ. We are extracting. Target escaped grid. Expanding search radius." The guards acknowledge, start walking toward the helicopters. Operators emerge from the compound, filing out, tired, frustrated, empty-handed. They load into the birds, 16 men, organized, efficient, no wasted movement. The pilot in Elena's bird keys the intercom. Everyone on board. Affirmative, let's get out of this heat. The pilot pulls pitch, the helicopter shudders, lifts. Elena and Cross cling to the skid, every muscle screaming, hands locked on metal. The ground drops away, 10 feet, 20, 50. If they let go now, they die. Elena looks at Cross. His face is white, eyes wide, but he holds on. The helicopter banks, turns south, away from the compound, gaining altitude. At 100 feet, Elena sees the problem. They are climbing too fast. 200 feet now. The original plan was to drop at low altitude over soft sand. This is different. She scans below. Desert, rock. Then she sees it, a dune field half a kilometer ahead, deep sand, the kind that breaks falls. She catches Cross's eye, points, he sees it, nods. A memory flashes. Sear School, Fort Bragg, survival instructor demonstrating PLF, parachute landing fall, 5 points of contact, feet, calves, thighs, hip, shoulder, roll to disperse impact. The instructor's voice in her head, sand is your friend, rock is not, choose your LZ. The helicopter passes over the dune field, 200 feet altitude. Elena lets go. Free fall, 2 seconds that stretch like hours, wind tearing at her, ground rushing up. She tucks, knees bent, feet together, arms crossed over chest. Impact. Sand explodes around her. The dune gives, not concrete, not rock, living earth that absorbs and redistributes. She rolls, 5 points, feet, calves, thighs, hip, shoulder, momentum bleeding into sand. She stops, face down, every bone jarred, pain radiating through her shoulder, but nothing broken, nothing permanent. She rolls onto her back, gasping, alive. 10 feet away, Cross hits. Harder, bad angle, he screams, clutches his ankle. Elena crawls to him, grabs him, drags him behind a dune, out of sight. Above them, the helicopter keeps flying, oblivious, carrying men who think their target is still out there somewhere, dying of thirst, waiting for death. They are wrong. Elena leans against the sand, gasping, everything hurts, ribs, shoulder, lungs. Cross sits beside her, holding his ankle. It is swelling, probably sprained, possibly broken. We just jumped out of a helicopter, he says, his voice shaking between laugh and sob. Elena nods, yes. That was insane. Yes. It worked. Barely. They sit in silence, breathing, alive. After a while, Cross speaks again. Captain, what now? Elena looks at him, at the compound in the distance, at the desert stretching away in every direction, at the sky where the helicopters have become distant specks. Now she says we break them. Night falls. The desert cools. Stars emerge one by one until the sky is thick with them. A cold wind blows from the north. It smells of rain that will not come and promises that will not be kept. Elena sits in the ruins, Cross beside her, ankle wrapped in strips torn from his shirt, not broken, just badly sprained. He can walk, barely. She has the sat phone again, retrieved from under the rock. The message she sent is still in the outbox. Delivered. Read receipt. Someone saw it. But no reply. She does not know if that means help is coming, or if it means the message disappeared into the same black hole that swallows all inconvenient truths. 48 hours remain. Elena opens the phone, navigates to the photos, studies the evidence, Briggs's emails, the wire transfers, the video of the executions. It is not enough. Not yet. She needs more, needs something that cannot be denied, cannot be buried. She needs Vega. Not dead, alive, talking, confirming everything. The problem is getting him to talk. Men like Vega do not break easily. Torture will not work. He has been trained to resist. Pain is just another language he speaks fluently. But there are other languages, other pressures. Guilt, shame. The weight of the things a man has done when he thought he was serving something larger than himself, and learned too late he was just serving money. She saw it in his office, the photo, GAFE 2012, 0, the dead friend whose name unlocks his computer. A man who keeps passwords like that is a man who remembers, who regrets. Maybe. Elena stands, looks at Cross. I need to go back. His head snaps up, to the compound. Yes. That is suicide. They are on alert. They know you are alive. They will be waiting. I know. Then why? Because Vega is the key. I need him, and I need you to stay here. Cross starts to argue, stops. He knows his ankle will not hold, knows he will slow her down, get them both killed. What do I do if you don't come back? Wait until dawn, then head north, follow the stars. 30 kilometers will get you to the border, maybe less. And you? Elena does not answer, just checks the sat phone, makes sure it is charged, hands it to Cross. If I don't come back, someone will find this phone eventually. Make sure they do. Cross takes it, nods, his throat works, words trying to form. Elena puts a hand on his shoulder. Breathe, she says, in, out. He manages a broken smile. You keep saying that. Because you keep forgetting. She turns, walks into the dark. Behind her, Cross whispers, good hunting, Raven. She does not look back. The compound at night is a different animal. The lights are brighter, the guards more numerous. They learned their lesson. No more complacency, no more assumptions. But bright lights create deep shadows, and more guards means more noise, more distractions, more opportunities. Elena approaches from the west, the direction they searched least, the direction they think is empty because no sane person would come from there. No water, no cover, just miles of nothing. Perfect. She reaches the perimeter. The drainage culvert is guarded now. 2 men, rifles, alert. She cannot use that route. Instead, she circles, finds the generator shed, the outer wall, climbs. Fingers finding holds in crumbling mortar, toes wedging into gaps. Slow, silent, every movement deliberate. She reaches the roof, pulls herself up, lies flat, breathing. From here she can see the whole compound. Cross's post is empty now. They moved him, smart, or they killed him. No, she would have heard, would have felt it. Vega's office light is on. A shadow moves behind the curtain, pacing, back and forth. A man who cannot rest because rest invites thought and thought invites doubt. Elena crosses the roof, reaches the office window, the one she left open. It is closed now, locked from inside. She takes out the metal strip, works it into the frame. The lock is newer, stronger. Her strip bends, almost breaks. Come on, she whispers. Click. The window opens. She slides through, drops into the office, lands in a crouch, freezes. Vega sits at his desk, back to her, looking at his laptop. He does not turn. I knew you would come back, he says, his voice tired, defeated. Elena does not move, hands ready, calculating distance, angles. Vega closes the laptop, turns slowly. His hands are visible, empty, no weapon. You are either very brave or very stupid, he says. Maybe both. He studies her. His face is different from before. Older, or maybe just more honest, the mask of command slipping. What do you want, Wraith? The truth. He laughs. A sound like glass breaking, the truth. You broke into my office, stole my phone, saw my files, you already have the truth. I have evidence, I need confirmation. Vega stands, walks to the window, looks out at the compound, at the men who follow his orders because they have no better options. You want me to confess, he says, to admit I sold you to Briggs, that I killed those men in the video, that I am everything you think I am. Elena says nothing, waits. And if I do, Vega asks, if I give you what you want, what then? Then you get to choose who you are when this ends. Vega the cartel enforcer, or Carlos the soldier who remembered his honor. He turns, looks at her, really looks, seeing past the operator, past the threat, to the woman beneath. You think honor matters anymore, in this world? I think it is all that matters, the only thing that lasts when everything else burns. Silence long and heavy, the kind that holds weight. Vega walks to his desk, opens a drawer, Elena tenses, ready to move. He pulls out a pistol. Lays it on the desk, facing her. Take it, he says. She does not. Why? Because you came here unarmed. Into my compound, my office. You could have killed me a dozen times by now. You did not. I want to know why. Because killing you does not end this. It just creates another ghost. Vega smiles, sad, broken. You are right, I am already a ghost, have been since Zero died. Zero, the man in the photo. Vega nods, my best friend, killed in a joint operation with your military, an operation Briggs coordinated. We were told it was a rescue mission. It was an ambush. Zero died, 6 others, all because Briggs sold the mission details to the highest bidder. Elena's breath catches, so you know what he is. I know, and I hated you. Hated all Americans, thought you were all the same. Briggs offered me money to kill you. I took it, not for the money, for revenge. And now I know revenge is just another word for poison. It kills everyone, even the one who drinks it. He picks up the pistol, ejects the magazine, clears the chamber, sets it down again. I will give you what you want, Wraith. I will confirm everything, record it, send it to whoever you need, but I want something in return. What? Let me finish this my way. Elena stares at him, understanding. He is asking for permission to die on his own terms, not hunted, not captured, not paraded. No, she says. Vega blinks, surprised, no. No, you do not get to take the easy way. You want honor, you earn it, you testify, you face what you have done. You help me end Briggs. Then maybe you get to decide what comes next. He laughs again, less broken this time. You are a hard woman, Wraith. I am a soldier, same as you used to be. Vega sits, thinks, the silence stretches. Outside a guard shouts something, laughter follows. Finally Vega nods. All right, I will do it, but we do it now, before I lose my nerve. Elena moves to the desk. Vega opens the laptop, pulls up a camera application, frames himself in the shot. He speaks for 6 minutes. Names, dates, payments, operations, everything, the ambush, the executions, Briggs's orders, his own complicity. When he finishes, he saves the file, transfers it to a flash drive, hands it to Elena. There he says, your proof. Now get out before my men realize you are here. Elena takes the drive, looks at Vega, one more thing. What? The prisoners, the ones in the video, who were they? Vega's face darkens. CIA assets, embedded with cartels, burned by their own agency. Briggs was cleaning up loose ends. She nods, suspected as much. There is more, Vega says. Briggs has another team, not Lazarus, deeper, darker. If you surface with that evidence, they will come for you. Let them come. Vega almost smiles. You really are insane. Probably. She moves to the window, pauses, looks back. Thank you, Carlos. He meets her eyes. Do not thank me yet. We both still have to survive the next 48 hours. Elena climbs out. Into the night, the flash drive tucked against her skin, proof in hand, truth secured. Behind her, Vega sits in his office, alone, thinking about dead friends and choices that cannot be unmade. Outside, the desert waits, patient, inevitable. And somewhere to the north, men in helicopters are realizing their target is not where she should be. Realizing she is winning. Dawn comes to the Chihuahuan Desert like a judgment. The sun rises blood red, painting the horizon in shades of fire and ash. Heat builds with the light, patient, relentless, the kind of heat that kills slow and leaves nothing behind but bones and regret. Elena Reeves stands on the roof of the ranch house ruins, watching the compound 3 kilometers east. The flash drive with Vega's confession is tucked inside her boot. Evidence secured. Truth captured. But truth is only useful if it survives long enough to be told. And right now, survival is far from certain. Cross sits below in the shade, ankle elevated. The swelling has gone down slightly, but the joint is purple and hot to touch. He can walk. Barely. Run. Not a chance. They are trapped. 2 operators. 1 injured. No weapons beyond a broken knife and a strip of metal. No support. No extraction. And hunting them are 16 Delta-trained killers backed by the full weight of a corrupt colonel who has already murdered to keep his secrets buried. The math is simple, brutal. They should already be dead. But they are not. Elena climbs down from the roof, sits beside Cross, hands him a water bottle, half full, all that remains. How much time, he asks. 42 hours. And then what? She does not answer because she does not know. Morrison carved those words. Lazarus' 72-hour hold, but he never said what happens when the clock runs out. Rescue, revelation, nothing. Faith is not something Elena trades in. She deals in facts, training, discipline. But right now, she is betting everything on the word of a dead man carved into rotting wood. Cross reads her silence, understands. You think help is coming. I think Morrison did not carve that message for nothing. But you are not sure. No, I am not sure. They sit in the quiet. The desert around them is waking. Lizards emerge to sun on rocks. A coyote trots past 200 meters out, pausing to look at them with yellow eyes before moving on. Life continues, indifferent to human drama. The radio crackles. Elena turns it on, low volume. Briggs is talking, his voice tight, controlled, but beneath it she can hear the crack forming. Lazarus 6 expands search to grid November. I want eyes on every structure within 30 kilometers. She is wounded, low on supplies, she cannot have gone far. Copy. Lazarus 6 responds. But sir, if she made it to the border. She has not made it to the border, she is still here, I can feel it. A pause, then Lazarus 6 again. Sir, with respect, we have been searching for 18 hours. No sign, no tracks. It is possible she died in the desert and we simply have not found the body yet. Briggs' response is sharp, cold. She is not dead. Reeves does not die, she adapts, she survives. And right now she is planning something. I want her found, I want her ended. No more excuses. The channel goes quiet. Elena turns off the radio, looks at Cross. He heard it too, the edge in Briggs' voice, the desperation masquerading as certainty. He is scared, Cross says. Yes. Good, let him be scared. Elena almost smiles. You sound like a Delta operator. I learned from the best. She stands, walks to the window, studies the compound through the binoculars. Activity has increased. Men loading vehicles, checking weapons. Vega is organizing something. A patrol maybe, or a final sweep before they abandon the area entirely. She cannot let them leave. Not yet. Not until the clock runs down. Not until whatever Morrison planned comes to pass. Which means she needs to keep them here, keep them focused on her, keep them hunting. She needs to be the bait. Cross reads her body language, knows what is coming. Captain, whatever you are thinking. I need you to stay here, guard the flash drive. If I do not come back, wait until dark, then head north, find the border, find someone who will listen. And you. I am going to make sure they do not leave. That is suicide. Probably, but it is also the only play we have left. Cross struggles to his feet, wincing. You are not doing this alone. Yes, I am. Your ankle will not hold, we both know it. You will slow me down, get us both killed. He wants to argue, wants to refuse, but he knows she is right, knows his injury makes him a liability in a fight. His jaw works, then he nods once, sharp. What do you need me to do? Elena hands him the flash drive. This is everything. Briggs, the executions, Vega's testimony. If something happens to me, this is the only proof that any of this was real. Cross takes it, closes his fist around it. I will get it out, I swear. I know you will. She turns to leave. Cross grabs her arm. Captain, Elena. She looks back. Come back, he says, please. She does not make promises she cannot keep, just nods once, then walks out into the heat. The compound is different in daylight, exposed, vulnerable. Guards are tired. Rotation schedules breaking down. Men who have been awake too long, searching too hard, finding nothing. Good, exhaustion makes people careless. Elena approaches from the south, the direction they searched yesterday, the direction they think is clear. She moves slow, uses every scrap of cover, every dip in the terrain, every shadow. It takes her 2 hours to cover 3 kilometers. By the time she reaches the perimeter, the sun is directly overhead, heat radiating off the sand in visible waves. 120 degrees, maybe more. The kind of temperature that turns thought to syrup and judgment to ash. She finds a position, a low rise with a clear view of the main gate, settles in, waits. Patience is a weapon. Morrison taught her that. You do not rush the enemy. You let them rush themselves. Let their own fear and frustration drive them into mistakes. She counts vehicles, 4 trucks, 2 Humvees. The helicopters are gone, pulled back to a forward operating base somewhere, out of the heat, waiting. Good, helicopters complicate things. She counts men, 20 visible, maybe 25 total, fewer than before. Vega must have sent patrols out, thinning his forces. Another mistake. She waits until the guards change, watches the handoff. Sloppy, no proper debrief, just tired men walking away and slightly less tired men taking their place. When the new guards settle in, when their attention drifts, she makes her move. She stands, walks directly toward the gate. No cover, no concealment, just a small woman in torn fatigues walking across open ground in the worst heat of the day. It takes 30 seconds before someone notices. A shout, Spanish, frantic, rifles swing toward her. Elena keeps walking, hands at her sides, visible, empty. More shouts, men scrambling. Vega appears at the gate, stares, disbelief plain on his face. You came back, he says. Why? Elena stops 20 meters out, just beyond effective pistol range, close enough to talk, far enough to run if she needs to. Because we are not done yet. Vega studies her, trying to understand, trying to see the angle. You should be gone, should be running. I do not run. You should. Probably, but here I am. A truck engine starts behind the compound wall. Men are mobilizing, getting ready to capture her or kill her, whichever comes first. Elena does not move, just stands there in the sun, waiting. Vega steps through the gate, alone, unarmed. His men watch from the wall, confused, uncertain. What do you want, Wraith? To talk. We talked, I gave you what you needed, the testimony, the proof. You did, and I am grateful. Then why are you here? Because they are coming, the people I sent the evidence to, and when they arrive, I need you to make a choice. Vega stops walking, tension in his shoulders. What choice? Between the man you were and the man you became. Between Carlos the soldier and Vega the killer. He laughs, bitter. You think I still get to choose, after everything I have done? I think choice is the only thing we ever really have, right up until the moment we stop breathing. Vega looks back at the compound, at the men waiting for orders, at the life he built from the wreckage of the one he lost. If I choose wrong, then you die with the wrong name, and no one remembers the soldier, only the criminal. Long silence. The sun hammers down. Sweat runs into Elena's eyes. She does not blink. Finally, Vega speaks. What do you need me to do? Elena tells him. The plan is insane, suicidal. Everything Elena has done so far has been calculated risk wrapped in controlled chaos. This is different. This is putting a gun in the enemy's hand and trusting he will point it the right direction. But she does not have a choice, not anymore. The clock is ticking. 36 hours remain, and she needs Vega's men, needs their presence, needs them to be here when whatever Morrison set in motion finally arrives. Vega listens, does not interrupt. When she finishes, he is quiet for a long time. You are asking me to betray Briggs. I am asking you to stop betraying yourself. That is not the same thing. It is exactly the same thing. Vega turns, walks back toward the gate. Elena tenses, ready to run, ready to fight, ready to die if that is what comes next. He stops at the threshold, looks back. You have 36 hours, he says. I will keep my men here. But when Briggs comes, and he will come, you better have something more than hope and a dead man's message. I will. He nods, then disappears through the gate. Elena stands alone in the sun, waiting to see if he will honor his word or put a bullet in her back. Neither happens. She turns, walks away, back into the desert, back toward the ruins where Cross is waiting. Behind her, the compound does not erupt in gunfire, does not send trucks racing after her. Vega is keeping his word. For now. The hours crawl past like wounded animals. Elena and Cross sit in the shade, rationing the last of the water, one bottle between them, maybe 6 swallows each. The radio is silent. Briggs has stopped transmitting, gone dark. That worries Elena more than his voice did. A silent enemy is a thinking enemy, planning, preparing. Cross breaks the quiet. You trust Vega? No. Then why make a deal with him? Because I do not have to trust him. I just have to give him a reason to want what I want. Which is to survive this, with something left of the man he used to be. Cross considers that, nods. You think Briggs will come himself. Eventually, when Lazarus fails, when he realizes no one else can finish this. And when he does, Elena does not answer, because the answer is simple and terrible. When Briggs comes, one of them dies, maybe both, but it ends. The sun begins its descent, shadows stretching long across the sand, temperature dropping degree by degree, the desert exhaling after holding its breath all day. The radio crackles to life. Not Briggs, Lazarus 6. All units. New orders, pull back to forward operating base Charlie. Repeat, pull back to FOB Charlie. Operation is being restructured. Elena sits up, listens. Another voice. Younger, confused, sir, what about the target? Target is no longer priority. Command has made the call. We extract in 1 hour. Lazarus 6 signs off. The channel goes quiet. Cross looks at Elena. They are leaving. No, Briggs is pulling them back, regrouping. He knows something we do not. Or he is giving up. Men like Briggs do not give up. They pivot. They adapt. And right now he is adapting to the fact that his hunting party failed. So what does he do instead? Elena thinks, works through the logic. Briggs sent Lazarus because he wanted plausible deniability, wanted her death to look like a cartel kill or a desert casualty. Clean, untraceable. But that failed. She is still alive, still out here, still a threat. So he cannot use Lazarus anymore. Cannot risk more operators asking questions, seeing too much, realizing their mission does not add up. Which means he needs a smaller team, people he controls completely, people who will not hesitate, will not question. The deeper team, the one Vega mentioned. Elena stands, grabs the binoculars, scans the horizon, nothing yet, but they are coming. She can feel it. Cross struggles to his feet. What do we do? We move now, before they get here. Move where? The compound. Cross stares. You want to go back to the place we just escaped from. It is the last place they will expect, and right now, unexpected is all we have. They move, Cross limping, Elena supporting his weight, slow progress, painful, but they make it. By the time they reach the compound perimeter, the sun has set, twilight bleeding into night, stars emerging overhead. Vega is waiting at the gate. He looks at Cross, at his injured ankle, at the exhaustion on both their faces. You look like hell, he says. Feel worse. Vega gestures, come, we do not have much time. He leads them inside, to a building at the back of the compound, concrete, reinforced, an old storage bunker converted into something resembling shelter. Inside, water, food, medical supplies. Vega hands Cross a bottle, drink, you are dehydrated. Cross drinks, half the bottle in one pull, gasps, thank you. Vega nods, turns to Elena. Briggs pulled Lazarus back 2 hours ago, but he sent new coordinates. A different team is coming, smaller, 4 men. They will be here by midnight. How do you know? Because they contacted me, told me to secure the area, keep my men inside, stay out of their way. Elena's jaw tightens. You know what they are coming to do. Yes. And you are still helping us. Vega meets her eyes. I made a choice. I am seeing it through. Even if it gets you killed. Especially then. Cross interrupts. 4 men, what kind of team? The kind that does not exist on any roster. The kind that gets sent when governments need problems erased. Assassins. Vega nods, the best kind, the kind you never see coming. Elena processes this. 4 targets, unknown capabilities, arrival at midnight, 3 hours from now. We need to prepare. Vega gestures to a corner of the bunker. I brought what I could, not much, but better than nothing. In the corner, weapons, old, mismatched but functional, 2 rifles, a pistol, ammunition. Elena picks up one of the rifles, checks the action, worn but serviceable. She loads a magazine, chambers a round. Cross does the same with the pistol. His hands shake slightly. From exhaustion or fear, hard to say, maybe both. Vega watches them. When they are armed, he speaks again. There is something else you should know. What? Briggs is coming with them. Elena freezes. You are sure? I heard it on the secure channel. He is flying in personally. Wants to see this finished. Cross swears softly, viciously. Elena stays quiet, thinking. Briggs would not come unless he was certain, unless he had overwhelming advantage. 4 operators plus himself, against 2 exhausted soldiers, 1 injured, and a cartel lieutenant of questionable loyalty. The math is bad, worse than bad. But it is also an opportunity. Briggs in person means no more hiding, no more proxies, just truth and a reckoning. When do they arrive? Elena asks. Midnight, maybe sooner. Then we have work to do. They spend the next 2 hours preparing. Elena knows they cannot win a straight fight, cannot outshoot professional killers on their own ground, so they do not try. Instead, they turn the compound into a maze, a trap, a killing floor designed not to kill but to confuse, to separate, to turn overwhelming force into isolated targets. Vega's men help, reluctant at first, but Vega is still their commander, still the man they follow, and when he gives orders they obey. They move vehicles, create choke points, string wire at ankle height in the dark, set empty cans on trip lines, nothing lethal, just noise, just confusion. Because Elena does not need to kill them. She just needs to survive them long enough for the clock to run down. 24 hours remain. Midnight arrives with the sound of rotors. A single helicopter, black, unmarked. It circles once, lands outside the compound in a storm of dust and prop wash. 5 men climb out, 4 in tactical gear, full kit, night vision, suppressors on their rifles. They move like ghosts, silent, efficient. The 5th man is different, older, no helmet, just a sidearm on his hip. Colonel Marcus Briggs, 60 years old, silver hair, jaw like carved granite. He walks like a man who has never doubted himself, never questioned, never failed. Elena watches from the bunker window, night vision binoculars pressed to her eyes. She studies him, the way he moves, the way he gestures to his team, confident, controlled, a man used to winning. He is about to learn what losing feels like. Briggs stops at the compound gate, speaks to someone inside. Vega. Their voices carry in the still air. Lieutenant Vega, you have done well. The target is inside. Vega's response is careful. Yes, in the back bunker, wounded, low on ammunition. Good, my team will handle it from here. Keep your men inside. This will be over quickly. Understood, Colonel. Briggs gestures to his team. They move, splitting into 2 pairs, professional, coordinated. 1 pair circles left, the other right. Briggs stays at the gate, waiting. Elena keys the radio, low volume. Vega can hear it on the other end. Ready. Vega's response is a single click. Elena looks at Cross. He is positioned in the opposite corner, rifle aimed at the door, injured ankle braced against a crate. She gives him a nod. He returns it. Then they wait. The first pair reaches the bunker. 2 men, moving in tactical leapfrog. One covers while the other advances. Textbook. They reach the door, stack up, prepare to breach. Elena whispers into the radio, now. The lights go out, all of them. Compound plunged into darkness. Vega cut the generator just like they planned. Shouts confusion. The breach team activates night vision, green glow in the dark. They kick the door, flood inside, rifles up. The bunker is empty. One of them keys his radio. Target is not here. Repeat, bunker is clear. Briggs' response crackles through. Find her. They exit, regroup with the second pair, 4 men, scanning, searching. They do not see Elena. She is above them on the roof, prone, watching through a crack in the corrugated tin. She does not shoot, does not reveal her position, just watches, waits. The team splits again, searching buildings, methodical, room by room. Elena moves, crawls across the roof, drops down behind them, silent, uses the darkness, the confusion, the layout she memorized. She is hunting now. The first target is alone, separated from his team by 30 meters, checking a vehicle bay, night vision casting everything in shades of green. Elena comes up behind him, does not hesitate, strikes with the rifle butt, hard, precise, base of the skull. He drops unconscious, not dead. She drags him into shadow, zip-ties his hands with a strip torn from his own gear, gags him, leaves him. One down. She moves to the next. The second target is smarter, stays near his partner. They move together, covering each other. Elena cannot take them both, not without shooting, and shooting reveals her position, brings the others running. So she waits, watches, the 2 men check a building, one enters, the other stays outside, watching. Elena picks up a rock, throws it, clatters off metal 20 meters away. The outside guard turns, keys his radio, possible contact, north side. He moves to investigate. Elena moves with him, matches his pace, stays in his blind spot. When he rounds the corner, she is there. Strike, drop, zip tie, gag. 2 down. The remaining pair realize something is wrong. Their teammates are not responding. Radio check, nothing. They go back to back, scanning, nervous now. Briggs' voice on the radio, status. 2 men unaccounted for, no contact. Find them. Sir, we should pull back, regroup. No, she is here, she is close, find her. The 2 men move, slow, careful, every shadow a threat, every sound a potential ambush. Elena does not give them a clean shot, just stays ahead, stays invisible, lets their fear do the work. One of them breaks, fires at a shadow, suppressed shots, quiet but not silent. Nothing there. His partner swears, cease fire, you are wasting ammunition. I saw movement. It is your imagination. Elena smiles in the dark. Fear is a weapon, and right now it is working. She circles, comes up behind them. They are focused forward, expecting threat from the dark ahead, not from behind. She shoots the first one, single round, leg, he goes down screaming. His partner spins, fires wild, panicked. Elena is already gone, melted back into shadow. The wounded man clutches his leg. Radio, I am hit, I am hit. Briggs' response is ice, where is she? I do not know, she is everywhere. Elena moves to her final position, the roof of the main building, overlooking the gate, where Briggs is waiting. She settles in, rifle aimed, breathing controlled. Cross is in position too, covering the opposite angle. They have Briggs in a crossfire. He does not know it yet. But he is about to. Elena speaks, loud, clear, carrying across the compound. Colonel Briggs. Silence, then his voice. Tight, controlled, Captain Reeves, impressive work tonight, but it is over. You are surrounded, outgunned. You have nowhere to go. Wrong, you are surrounded, your team is down, 3 unconscious, 1 wounded, you are alone. I am never alone. Tonight you are. Briggs draws his sidearm, scans the darkness, trying to locate her voice. Why are you doing this, Reeves? You were a good soldier, you could have had a career, a future. I had a team, Morris and Chin, you sent them to die. They knew too much, same as you. They were soldiers, they deserved better than betrayal. This is war, people die. This is murder, and you will answer for it. Briggs laughs, cold, hard answer to who? You have no authority, no proof, no one will believe you. Elena stands, steps into the light from the generator Vega just restarted, rifle aimed at Briggs' center mass. I have proof, emails, wire transfers, video of you ordering executions, and testimony from Lieutenant Vega, all of it recorded, all of it sent to people who will listen. Briggs' face hardens. You are lying. Am I? Check your secure email. The one you thought was encrypted. I sent copies an hour ago to the Inspector General, to the Senate Armed Services Committee, to 3 major news organizations. By morning, everyone will know what you are. Briggs' weapon wavers. Impossible, you do not have access. I did not, Vega did, and he gave it to me. Briggs turns, looks at Vega standing in the shadow of the gate, realization dawning. You betrayed me. Vega steps forward. No, Colonel, you betrayed us, all of us. I just stopped helping you do it. Briggs swings his weapon toward Vega. Elena fires, single shot. Briggs' pistol flies from his hand. He staggers, clutches his wrist, blood between his fingers. Do not move, Elena says, or the next one goes center mass. Briggs drops to his knees, breathing hard, eyes wild. You have no idea what you have done. The people I work for, they will come for you, they will erase you. Let them try. Sirens in the distance, growing louder, red and blue lights flickering on the horizon. Cross limps out of the shadows, looks at Elena. You called them. No, Morrison did. 72 hours ago, before he died, when he knew Briggs would move against us. Cross stares. How? Elena smiles, tired, relieved, because Morrison was not just investigating Briggs, he was building a case, and he set a dead man switch, a fail-safe protocol. If he did not check in every 72 hours, everything he collected got released automatically, to law enforcement, to the press, to everyone. Lazarus was not a team, it was a timer. The vehicles arrive. Local police, border patrol, and behind them unmarked SUVs, federal agents, moving fast, coordinated. They flood the compound, weapons drawn, shouting orders. Elena sets down her rifle, raises her hands. Cross does the same. An agent approaches. FBI, he looks at Elena, at Briggs on his knees, at the chaos around them. Captain Reeves. Yes. We received a data dump 6 hours ago. Classified documents, evidence of corruption and murder. Your name was attached. It is all true, every word. The agent nods. Colonel Briggs, you are under arrest for conspiracy to commit murder, treason, and about a dozen other charges I will read you later. 2 agents haul Briggs to his feet, cuff him. He does not resist, just stares at Elena. You think you won, he says. You think this is over. Elena meets his eyes, steady, unflinching. It is over for you, that is enough. They take him away, into a vehicle, gone. Elena sits, legs giving out, exhaustion crashing over her like a wave. Cross sits beside her. Neither speaks, just breathes, alive. Vega approaches. Agents watch him, hands on weapons. He stops a respectful distance away. I will be going with them too, he says. Elena looks up. You did the right thing. Does not feel right. It never does, but it was still right. Vega nods. Thank you, Wraith, for reminding me who I used to be. He turns, walks toward the agents, hands up, surrendering. They take him too, but gently, with respect, a man who chose honor at the end. The sun rises, red and gold, the desert waking to a new day. Elena and Cross are medevaced out, helicopters, real ones this time, with medics and IVs and clean bandages. As they lift off, Elena looks down, at the compound, at the desert, at the place where she became a ghost and then chose to be human again. Cross touches her arm. You did it. We did it. Morrison did it. We just finished what he started. Elena nods, closes her eyes. For the first time in 4 days, she lets herself rest. 3 weeks later, Arlington National Cemetery, Virginia. Elena stands before a grave. Fresh headstone, white marble, Lieutenant Jake Morrison, beloved son, honored soldier, hero. She sets a flag beside it, small, folded, the kind given to families at military funerals. Beside her, Cross stands at attention, ankle heeled, uniform pressed, he salutes. Elena does the same. Behind them a crowd, 50 people, maybe more, soldiers, family, friends, people who knew Morrison, people who did not, all here to honor a man who died for the truth. General Hartwell steps forward, 4 stars on his shoulders, commander of Joint Special Operations Command. He clears his throat. Lieutenant Morrison saw corruption. He could have looked away, could have stayed silent, could have protected himself. He did not. He built a case, gathered evidence, and when they came for him, he made sure the truth would survive even if he did not. He pauses, looks at Elena, Captain Reeves, Sergeant Cross. They finished what he started, exposed a traitor, saved lives, honored the code we all swore to uphold. Because of them, because of Morrison, we are better, we are stronger, we remember what we fight for. He salutes, the crowd follows, 50 hands rising as one. Elena feels tears on her cheeks, does not wipe them away, just stands, honors, remembers. After the ceremony, she walks alone to another grave, smaller, simpler, Specialist Amy Chen, age 29, medic, friend. Elena kneels, touches the stone. I am sorry, she whispers. Sorry you got caught in this. Sorry I could not save you. The wind carries her words away. No answer, just silence. She stands, turns. Cross is waiting. Ready, he asks. Yes. They walk toward the parking lot, past rows of white stones, thousands of them, soldiers who gave everything, who believed in something bigger than themselves. A car waits, black sedan, government plates. A woman stands beside it, civilian clothes, CIA credentials on her belt. Captain Reeves, Sergeant Cross, I am Agent Sarah Chen, Amy's older sister. Elena stops. I am so sorry for your loss. Agent Chen nods. Thank you, I know you tried. Amy would have understood. She holds out a folder. This is for you. Amy left instructions. If something happened to her, this was supposed to reach you. Elena takes the folder, opens it. Inside, a single photograph. Amy and her sister, young, smiling. On the back, a note in Amy's handwriting. If you are reading this, I am gone. Do not blame yourself. We all knew the risks. Keep fighting, keep protecting. That is all any of us can do. Stay safe, Raven. Elena closes the folder, closes her eyes, breathes. Thank you, she says to Agent Chen. There is more. The agency wants to talk to you about a new program, something off book. They said you would understand. I do. Will you take the meeting? Elena looks at Cross. He shrugs. Your call, Captain. She looks back at Agent Chen. When? Tomorrow, Langley, 1000 hours. I will be there. Agent Chen nods, gets in the car, drives away. Cross watches her go. You are really going to do it? Another mission, more secrets. Elena watches the car disappear, thinks about Morrison, about Chen, about all the ghosts she carries. Someone has to, she says. Might as well be me. They walk to their own car, climb in. Cross starts the engine. Where to, Captain? Home for now. And tomorrow. Tomorrow we see what they want, and we decide if it is worth the fight. Cross pulls out, drives through the cemetery gates, into the Virginia countryside, green and quiet and far from deserts and bullets and betrayal. Elena leans back, closes her eyes, feels the sun on her face. She is not dead, not a ghost, just a soldier doing the job, keeping the promise. And for now, that is enough. Somewhere in a federal detention center, Marcus Briggs sits in a cell. Orange jumpsuit, no rank, no authority, just a number. He stares at the wall, thinking about the small woman who destroyed him, who refused to die, who became a ghost and then became something more dangerous. A witness. In his mind, he hears her voice. I think honor is all that matters, the only thing that lasts when everything else burns. He closes his eyes, knows she was right, hates her for it. The truth survived, and he did not. I've told 47 military stories on this channel. This one kept me up at night. Not because of the action, but because Elena's choice is one real operators face more than we admit, when the system that trained you decides you're expendable. For the vets here, did you ever have a moment where you had to choose between the mission and the truth? No judgment, just curious how you navigated it. Next story drops Friday. A Marine sniper who had one shot to save his team and 11 seconds to decide if he could live with the cost. What would you have done?